I've recently bought myself this long-handled Irish spade. Why Irish? Well, it was used extensively by the Irish for digging and ploughing the soil for the potato harvest. Why long-handled? Well, that's pretty obvious when you put it next to this traditional spade. Handle's about a foot to 18 inches longer. Quite a different animal in terms of tools. And I've been using this tool for about 2 weeks now. So I thought I'd put it through its paces for you. And there's an Amazon link to this tool in the description box below this video. And full disclosure, if you buy anything through any of my links from Amazon, I do get paid a commission. Thank you for your support. This spade, as it's called, has a slightly more scooped out blade than a traditional spade, as you can see when I put it next to this one, which to me makes this slightly more versatile because it can also be used as a shovel. It's kind of a hybrid between the two, and I found it very useful for scooping out the front of the blade. Where it hits the ground is kind of flat, and that makes it good for getting underneath. I've also found it useful for getting down into inaccessible places because you got extra reach with the longer handle. And I'm trying to get the soil out from underneath this huge conifer trunk, getting right down there, deep into that hole. You can actually use the long handle to shove it down too. You don't actually have to get your foot down into the hole. You can also use it for digging. It will slice through soil. So as I try and make this hole slightly bigger to get better access, this is proving useful. One piece of advice I would give you is make sure you're quite stable before you push your foot down. And I have noticed whichever foot you use, it tends to slide in the same direction. And because it's got quite a sharp edge, it will slice through small tree roots. The handle is longer than the traditional spade, so you've got better leverage. And I can feel it working my biceps and my triceps, and I suppose that might make it useful also if you were trying to lay down mulch or top dressing underneath plants, because you'd be able to scoop your mulch up and place it in underneath, a bit like putting coals into a steam engine furnace. The handle is longer. It's also quite thick. It's actually quite smooth. I would prefer that to be a bit more abrasive because it does tend to slip. But I think the abrasiveness will come over time. Half tempted to get a bit of sandpaper on there to give it some extra grip. There isn't a handle on the end like a traditional spade. But it's quite nice that, because it means it can fit into the palm of your hand. You can use it, but I would say be careful, because if you're doing that and you hit a hard rock or immovable object, you might do an injury to your wrist. So take your time, take it easy. You can see here also, because it's slightly angled, it's easier to work from an upright position than it would be with a traditional spade. In order to scoop with this, I've got to get quite low and underneath. Another benefit of the Irish spade is the volume you can pick up on each dig. Getting quite a lot more with the Irish spade. I found it particularly effective for moving piles of loose material like gravel. Let me show you. It goes in quite cleanly and picks up quite a lot of gravel on each dig. And the other nice thing about this is, because of the angle, as I've already said, you can get in at ground level and scoop. That would be ideal for using on a flat surface like a concrete plate or base. If you lift it slightly, you can let gravity do the work with a small wrist action. So at the moment I feel as if I've really just demonstrated this as more of a shovel than a spade. In my mind, spades are for digging, shovels are for moving. Let me show you how this works as a spade by doing a bit of digging. So, can I use this Irish spade as a spade and not just a shovel? Here are the two tools next to each other. So with a traditional spade, you go in with your foot and you dig. Quite a few surface roots and tree roots and bits of gravel and stone here, and I'm having to exert quite a lot of pressure. And what's helpful about the traditional spade, it's got this lip on which spreads the pressure and protects your foot. You can see the wind blowing through. Let's have a go with the Irish spade. In order to get a vertical on the spade, I'm positioning the blade away from me. It slices through quite a lot easier. And I think that's because it's got a sharper point. With the traditional spade, the pressure is divided along this flat front, slightly curved but certainly flatter than the pointy spade. Let's do a few more. Still suffering from that tendency to slide to the right or left, depending which foot you use. But going through this earth like butter, I have to say, and clearing out this border along the path from the kitchen door to the rear of the cottage, because I'm going to put a lot of scented plants in this border. That's why I'm moving this earth. Of course, it goes without saying, when you're doing any job like this in the garden, be aware of underground pipe work, cables, wires, water pipes. I've done a few jobs where I've found underground cables, pipe works, water pipes. And with a spade like this, it's very easy to do some damage. And the clues are there. Look at where the house is, look at where the toilets are, look at where the tap, sinks, electricity is, and you'll soon find those underground hazards. So there we go, the long-handled Irish spade. Great for digging, great for shoveling, great for mulching, great for getting into inaccessible places. Hope you've enjoyed that. Please do subscribe to my channel, hit the notifications bell, comment below. It's always nice to hear from you, and I'll see you soon.